Up dog.
Up dog. Up dog.
Up dog sports talk.
Hello and welcome to Up Dog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. This is Justin McGovern.
Hello, everybody.
Decked out in full Bills gear.
Playoff time!
Playoff.
The Bills finally won a playoff game.
Yeah.
And I am excited.
Yeah.
You're not, but I am.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Alabama for winning the national championship. I have a surprise here for you, Justin.
What is that?
I've had this hat for like 15 years, and I just
Why
found it in
do
my
you
closet.
even have that?
I have no idea.
What?
Roll Tide!
Oh, damn. What is this? Oh, this show's off to a terrible start. What are you doing? Why?
I have an Ohio State hat, too, if that helps.
Do you ever have every team? Do you have
Almost.
Clemson hat, too, that have all four of the playoff?
No, but I do have Tar Heels and Duke hats.
For basketball or football? Or?
It's not sports specific. It just has their logo on it.
Oh, man. What in the world? Okay.
Yeah. So
So you could probably wear like a different hat each episode.
I could probably wear a different hat
like-
every day, and it'll probably take me like 3 months to go through all my hats. I have a lot of hats.
Apparently.
So, yeah.
thought I had a lot
Hat
of
King, I
hats.
guess.
Yeah,
So-
that was a terrible game.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
Called
Damn
it.
it. Yeah, that's Ohio State's secondary.
This is literally the first interaction we've had about this game.
Yeah,
since
we
it happened.
actually had no plan to even talk about this game. I was really hoping just to bury it and kind of forget it happened. Which, if you look at the viewership, I mean, it had less than the semifinals. Maybe people did forget it happened.
Yeah. What is it? 15 million viewers for the national championship, and it was like almost
20 million
Yeah.
for the
it was
semifinals?
like 20, 25, something like that.
Yeah. But I think at this point you probably need to talk playoff expansion just to get more teams involved. I mean,
Or I don't know, hear me out here. Maybe you try to put some more fans in the stands. I think that'll make it a little bit more entertaining.
well, yeah, hopefully next year we can get more fans back in the stands. But I think at this point, expand the playoff, get more teams involved. Maybe that'll spread out the recruits a little bit instead of them just all going to Alabama. That will at least solve something. I mean, Alabama did have a lot of experienced guys this year.
You know,
which played in
Devontae
their
Smith
favor.
was third in their depth chart going into the season,
Yeah,
and then he won the Heisman.
I know. Crazy.
Yeah.
That guy is so good.
This conversation was not planned. This was not originally part of the show, so moving into the actual part of the show,
Yeah, NFL playoffs.
NFL playoffs. Last weekend was a bit of a surprise for a lot of teams. Now, I did put on Twitter the Washington football team was not playing Alex Smith. So my prediction was kind of off to a rough start. And Tom Brady just had his way. Not really way.
But a new star was
I
born
know.
here in Taylor Heineke.
I know. Well, didn't he play for the St. Louis Battlehawks?
He was a backup quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Yeah.
So that team in the XFL, I mean, best scouting department in the XFL.
I know.
In their history.
I think they just lucked out. So
definitely.
over the weekend, we had the Saints beat the Bears. Somehow Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy hung on to their jobs despite losing a bunch in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Ryan Pace did say that he feels good with the direction of the team because they finished the season with 3 out of 4 wins. Those wins were against the Texans, the Vikings, and someone else that's bad. I don't remember.
Probably the
who it was.
Lions.
Probably
I
the
think
Lions.
We can assume the Lions.
So Bears were bad going into the playoffs, and Saints just steamrolled them.
And then to top it all off, the only thing that's changing so far this offseason is on the defense, which was the strength.
I know. What's going on in Chicago?
Yeah, Chuck Pagano retiring, that will be big.
Yeah.
They definitely need to find themselves a good replacement because their defense was their strength. Without the defense to hold them up, they would have collapsed even worse than they did in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to do something about the offense. Obviously,
New quarterback. They need running back depth. They need to hang on to Allen Robinson. They have an okay offensive line. They can fix a couple spots, but
yeah,
maybe get a better tight end.
possibly. If they could even manage to sign Allen Robinson and maybe trade him, it would be better because they're not as close to a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, but sign and trades aren't that common in
they aren't.
the NFL. It's more baseball and definitely basketball.
Yeah.
But Rams beat the Seahawks. A lot of people did not see that coming. I, on the other hand, did.
You did not pick it. You did
Just
not
because I
pick
didn't
it on
pick
the
it-
show. You cannot declare this.
Okay, well, if you look at the Seahawks, they were a fraud all year.
Well, at the beginning of the year, they said, let Russ cook. And by the middle of the year, the kitchen was closed. He stopped cooking. That offense really fell apart.
Yeah. That defense fell
Man,
apart.
I'm the
and they
one
got
of the
better.
show that's not even becoming a dad. I'm the one that said
I
that. But yeah, definitely that offense just fell apart late in the year.
I did not know when I made my prediction that John Wolford would be starting.
Joe Wolford,
David
Wolford.
Jacob
Well,
Dingleheimer-Schmidt.
This guy like started briefly, got hit in the head, and then he got taken away in an ambulance.
Yeah.
It's very surprising that he started over Goff.
Well, Goff, remember, 12 days before
Yeah.
that game, had surgery on his broken thumb. Comes in, throws, looks like early in the year Phillip Rivers, and then kind of, I wouldn't say he really did well, but he had a couple of good throws in the receivers.
No, he was, for the most part, he was definitely bad Goff.
Yeah.
Which, if you had told me entering this game that bad Goff would have played, again, I mean, I picked the Seahawks because I thought bad Goff would be there.
But it's not really a bad Goff. It's like he can't get his thumb around the ball and is trying to
In all reality,
arm
this
it.
version was not his fault.
No.
But in the end, the Rams ended up winning because of defense and a run game.
Yeah. Cam Akers showed up big time.
Yeah,
and
he is definitely.
Aaron Donald's ready to go for next week,
around,
so we'll
yeah.
see if he can get to Aaron Rodgers. But your Bills beat the Colts. It was a little close, but
Didn't we skipped an NFC game here? We're
I-
jumping to the
we
AFC a
literally-
little bit too soon.
we literally already talked about Tampa versus football team.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see. It's tough to remember the team without a name.
But your Bills beat the Colts. How do you feel about that?
Feel pretty good about it. It definitely was a bit too close for comfort. Definitely had me on pins and needles almost the entire game. The Colts definitely came out with a almost like perfect game plan. Really, we kind of lucked out that they didn't execute entirely. Obviously, Phillip Rivers barely missing Pittman in fourth down was huge.
Yeah.
In the end, the Bills finally won a playoff game. I could definitely tell they got a little bit tight towards the end. I think the pressure of finally winning one of those got to them a little bit. But they got away with the win, and that's really all
They
that
were destined to
matters.
win. They're not a Cincinnati team.
Well, I don't know. It took us 25 years to finally win one. So now we're finally moving on. Definitely up next is another team with a strong run game. So
Yeah, in
That'll
the
be
snow, there's projected
Possibly,
there's
yeah.
projected a lot of snow for this game, and it's going to be a running battle. So Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen on the ground. We'll see how it goes.
yeah, Josh Allen was actually a lot more involved. They had more intended runs for Allen in this game than they had in the regular season. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah.
But yeah, mentioning the opponent, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they went and took down the Tennessee Titans. Get a little bit of revenge because they hate each other for whatever reason.
Yeah, they are turning into a nice little playoff rivalry. I thought that, I don't know, it just seemed like Derrick Henry didn't show up.
Yeah, the Ravens did a pretty good job containing him.
It didn't, but I mean, it looked like he wasn't even trying at times. Like, that's why Mike Vrabel got in his face and was screaming at him on the sideline. He's like, we need you. We need you. And I'm pretty sure he had like 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, it was very odd. Definitely did not expect Derrick Henry to get stuffed like that. He was contained, and from there, really the Ravens were able to just...
Because of that, do you think... Did Derrick Henry get the deal or did Ryan Tannehill? Who got franchise tagged?
No one got franchise tagged. They both got a deal.
I thought Derrick Henry got the franchise tag.
No, they both got paid this past offseason.
Didn't do the research on that. That wasn't supposed to be a topic on the show. Browns beat the Steelers.
What a surprise this one was. The Steelers they looked like a mess. It was like, is this really happening right now?
The Steelers danced their way out of the playoffs.
Man, I mean, it was just... The Browns put up 28 in the first quarter, like the most in the playoff games since 1969.
For a minute, it looked like they were going to blow it halfway through.
Yeah, I know. For a while there, you thought the Browns were going to brown.
You're like, yes, the Browns are going to beat the Steelers. And then you're like, oh no, I've seen this before.
I mean, it was a very entertaining game for a game that the Browns were literally up by double digits after like 4 minutes into the game.
I had to watch the whole thing because I was like, I don't know.
Are they going to Browns?
Yeah.
And they didn't. They, as soon as, basically every time they needed to answer on offense, they did. I mean, it was kind of crazy. They got a little bit conservative at one point. But then towards the end when they needed to, I mean, that offense was just making easy work of what was a dominant Steelers defense. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Steelers had those injury issues at linebacker. That definitely hurt them down the stretch. The defense being less dominant was not able to bail out an offense that wasn't playing well. Big Ben sitting there in the sidelines, gazing into the darkness there after the game was over.
He was literally sitting there like... Damn, I should have retired.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, he was probably like, damn it.
That's the look. That is literally the look of someone who's going to retire.
Someone who wants to retire, but at the same time...
No, Pouncey came up to Steelers after, or to Big Ben after the game and was like, I came back for you. I'm sorry we couldn't make it happen. Mm-hmm. And then they just sat there in silence. And then, of course, Juju walks up and they're just like, dude, go away. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
We don't want anything to do with you and your TikToks or whatever. But, yeah, he probably does want to retire at this point. But I don't know. I think at the other point, he's like, oh, crap. I can't end it like this.
Well, it's literally going to be who retires first. And then shortly after that, the other one will retire. So if Big Ben retires, Marquise Pouncey's not going to be there?
No. Pouncey already retired. He announced it, yeah.
Then Big Ben is going to retire then because he said, I'm not going to break in another center. Mm-hmm. He literally said that. So
yeah,
looks like Big Ben is on his way out. And
definitely a lot of chaos with the Steelers. They're going to have to make a change to offensive coordinator for sure because Ferkner doesn't know what he's doing.
Interesting fact.
I remember one play, we'll get to your fact in a moment, but I remember, in some plays, there was, a 3rd and 1, and they go, 5 wide receivers. Don't even put the thought that they might run in there.
Do you know they kept putting a linebacker on Jarvis Landry? So they needed to fire their defensive coordinator, too. But interesting fact, this offseason, next offseason, and the offseason after that, all star players on the Steelers are entering free agency. Mm-hmm. All of them.
Yeah, they've got some money to move around, that's for sure.
Any surprises in the rest of the playoffs for you? Anything that you want to predict?
Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see. We really just roasted the Steelers there. Didn't really talk about the Browns.
I mean, Nick Chubb. You just got to give him the ball and let Baker Mayfield play off of that. That's
the Browns definitely have a strong running game. For the most part, if the Chiefs show up, they'll blow out the Browns. But the Chiefs lately, now they've been off for 2 weeks. So how will they look? And then also just watching the Chiefs the past the entire second half of the year.
Well, Pat Mahomes was sleeping on the couch last Sunday.
But yeah, you watch them this entire second half of the year. They did sleepwalk a little bit. Mm-hmm. They were in tight games. They turned it on when they need to, but what happens if they don't get that opportunity? The Browns of the run game.
I think they were just being lethargic.
Yeah,
I think they were like, okay, well we're in the number 1 spot right now. Mm-hmm. We'll score when we need to, but kind of just take it easy.
Yeah.
I think they're just playing with everyone.
But the Browns' that run game is a team that can chew out clock and not give Patrick Mahomes the opportunity to be a hero. So that's the one dangerous point. But if the Chiefs show up like normal, I mean, obviously they'll win this one.
It's going to come down to quarterback play.
Yeah.
And Pat Mahomes or Baker Mayfield. I mean,
hey, they played once in college.
they played together in college.
That one game they played against each other in college was one of the most ridiculous games of all time where Oklahoma beat Texas Tech 66-59 and Patrick Mahomes lost despite setting like a quarterback yardage record.
They were both on the same team.
Yeah, they were on Texas Tech together at one point.
For me, it's gonna be the Rams versus Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think the Rams are gonna win because Aaron Rodgers is just too good. But I think there was only like 3 weeks out of the year where Jalen Ramsey gave up more than like 50 yards.
Yeah,
and every time you see the Packers and Rams play in the playoffs, it's always gold.
Oh yeah, this will be a pretty tough game. It'll be interesting to watch Aaron Rodgers go up against that defense. Both teams have corners that are playing excellent right now.
Jair Alexander and Jalen Ramsey are among the best in the NFC.
In all reality, you know that Aaron Rodgers is still going to play well. So now the question is, do we get good Goff or bad Goff? It doesn't matter, like the thumb and everything. He needs to play through it and be good Goff, and the Rams are going to.
Unless John Wolford's back, because Wolford was looking pretty good while he was in there.
Good luck seeing Joe Wolford go head to David,
John, Jacob,
Jason,
Jingle, Hammerschmidt.
Yeah, good luck seeing Jason Wolford go face to face with Aaron Rodgers. And then the only game we didn't talk about, the Buccaneers and Saints.
We did talk about that. That was what we led the show off with.
No, we talked about the games they played last week, but the Buccaneers and Saints playing this week.
Oh, Buccaneers and Saints. Yeah. That's going to be a good... I mean...
Can the
Brady
Buccaneers...
versus Breeze, that's always an instant classic.
Yeah, but can the Buccaneers end what the Saints had them in the regular season?
Probably. Tom Brady is different in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's tough to be a team 3 times in 1 year. But definitely...
I think the Browns lost to the Steelers once. Never mind.
Yeah, Browns got crushed by Steelers early.
Without Nick Chubb. So
yeah, that is true. But definitely... Now, one organization that probably won't see the playoffs anytime soon...
The Houston Texans.
What an absolute mess this franchise is all of a sudden.
Andre Johnson is coming out and telling Deshaun Watson to stand his ground. Mm-hmm. Arian Foster came out and defended him too.
And basically, like, I think even more like former players followed up after that even. Like, and Deshaun Watson wants out of there. And these are guys who were like regarded as like high character guys who like, unless something's really, really wrong, are not going to go and just go out loud and speak against an organization.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on right now. They have had enough.
Yeah, and Andre Johnson is more like the quiet type, and Arian Foster was kind of loud when he was there, but more quiet off the field.
Yeah.
Like he was loud on the field, like getting people to the right spot and stuff, but...
yeah, off the field, I mean, none of these
really
guys were people that made trouble. And, like, yeah, Andre Johnson normally was quieter, went about his business, was a true pro, and even he's just, like...
ripping them.
Yeah. He's like, this organization stinks right now.
So, on the other side of that, there's rumors of Deshaun Watson going to Miami. Mm-hmm. And then after that report comes out, anonymous players say that Tua is not the future quarterback.
That's always a fun thing. You hear anonymous players, so it's like, is this real or not? You can always say that, but I mean, who knows who?
It came from a source that has been disputed in the past as being false. So take it how you want it.
Yeah.
But if it is true, I think it's the players trying to spin the narrative of going to get Deshaun Watson, telling the owners like, "Hey, Tua's not the guy."
Yeah, which I could see. Obviously, Tua learned pretty quickly that the receivers in the NFL aren't nearly as open as the receivers at Alabama. Yeah. You don't have 4 first-round pick receivers going up against college defenses. No, you don't have all first-rounders there, and they're going up against NFL defenses, guys who do this for a living.
Yeah,
so it's they get paid
a lot of money for it.
A lot different for Tua, and he definitely struggled.
I mean, he wasn't bad.
Yeah,
he was like. I'd say he was better than Andy Dalton when Andy Dalton was on the Bengals.
Mm-hmm. But obviously,
But he was definitely carried by the defense.
Tua doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't make mistakes, but the problem is he's also not going to make the offense excel. He's not going to put the ball in a tight space. He basically doesn't want to throw the ball at the receivers and wide open. That's just what he was used to.
So the last successful left-handed quarterback, not like a running quarterback, like someone who actually throws the ball. You can make a case for a 2011 Mike Vick, but Steve Young was probably the last lefty that was a good quarterback.
In a long time.
Long time. So do you think that offenses are phasing out the lefty QB? Like, do you think that a lefty can work in the NFL anymore?
I'm not sure. If a lefty was going to work, Tua, I feel like was someone that could have done that. But I mean, it just depends on who you have and who's able to work with that. I mean, you basically have to work with the offense in reverse, which
I think
I
Tua's
don't think
going
a
to be
lot
okay.
of NFL people are going to be used to that.
I think Tua's going to be okay. He struggles a little bit with overthrowing, but he did come off of a really bad injury, and this was his first season after that injury. So give him the offseason to work out. Going into the first game, I don't think he was 100%.
Yeah.
Like he obviously didn't play that game, but I don't think he was 100% coming into the season. Wait till next year when he is 100% going into the season, and let's see how he does.
Yeah. But obviously, I think he's going to need some time. He's going to need to learn how to throw receivers open instead of just throwing the open receivers.
Yeah.
You look at you watch Tua versus like a Joe Burrow, for instance, where Burrow is like he seems to be fitting in tight windows, but he's throwing it into spots to get his receivers open on plays. While Tua, he usually sits and waits for his receivers to be open.
But I mean,
that's the one issue. But
how many times did he actually scramble?
No, not at all.
So, do you know how many times he did that in Alabama?
A lot more often.
Yeah. So next year, I think he'll be able to scramble and
that'll
open up
help
the
him out
offense
a little bit, is being able to scramble. But from there, how will he learn to throw receivers open or not? That'll be a big.
That just
thing
takes
with his
time.
career.
That takes time. I mean, college quarterbacks throw to the open receiver. NFL quarterbacks throw open their receiver.
Right.
So, being a rookie and not having a whole lot of time to work with the team because of COVID, he didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for that and kind of mentally get ready for that. So, just give him another season whatever team he lands on, unless it's the Texans. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, no, the Texans that'll be bad if he ends up there. I think everyone's just pretty much looking to get out of there at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a dumpster fire.
And we even mentioned the fact that they have no draft picks or cap space
this year. I mean, they have a number one they might have the number one overall pick next year, but
yeah, they'll be pretty close to it.
But moving on from the NFL, because I think we've exhausted that topic.
Yeah, we did get a lot of NFL talk in.
This is our first time that we get to talk about NBA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, NBA has storylines throughout the whole season. Beginning of the season has kind of like fluff, like, like this person may get traded, this person may get traded, and then half the time they never get traded. There's a big trade today.
Big trade?
Probably one of the biggest midseason trades I've seen in a while. The Houston Rockets and the Brooklyn Nets made a trade.
Really?
James Harden is going to the Nets.
James Harden is leaving Houston. I'll tell you what, I saw like a thing of him like taking the court yesterday, and I was just like, that dude got fat.
Yep, it's all
one of the fattest basketball players I've ever seen.
It is those discount wings at the buffet at the strip club. I'm telling you, man.
Magic City or whatever it was.
But the
was
Nets.
He the one that went to Magic City, or who was that?
I think it was Harden.
Okay, it was Harden?
I think so. I don't know the name.
Yeah, I remember like someone got in trouble for leaving the bubble to go to Magic City.
That wouldn't surprise me if it was James Harden. But the Nets get James Harden. The Rockets get Victor Oladipo from the Pacers. Dante Exum. I don't know how to say this guy's name. I'm going to butcher it. I'm sorry, dude, but Rodion's Karukux. 3 Brooklyn rounders, 1 Milwaukee first rounder, and 4 Brooklyn first round swaps. And then the Pacers get Karis LeVert, and a second rounder, and the Cavs get Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince.
Wow.
Yeah, so big trade.
Obviously, I mean, not just a big trade in terms of how big it was around the whole league, but also just how much was involved in that damn trade. Like, you literally had to read it off your phone.
Yeah, there was a lot. I tried tweeting it earlier, and I couldn't get all the players. I was also at work, so it was kind of hard to get all of that in there.
Yeah, that is a lot of players.
But it's not, I mean, I've seen trades with more, but Boston traded their old aging stars back in like 2010 to the Brooklyn Nets, and that's how they ended up with like all these draft picks, and that's why the Celtics are so good right now, and the Nets are relying on free agency and James Harden. But Kyrie, James Harden, I guess a declining Kyrie Irving, a fat James Harden, and an old ass Kevin Durant take the court for the Brooklyn Nets.
I don't even know half these guys were there. Like,
Yeah. That would be one of my cats knocking something off.
your cat just knocks
what a
big
jackass,
over. Wow.
But Pacers, Karis LeVert is pretty good. He's definitely coming into his own. Jarrett Allen, I don't know why the Cavs got Jarrett Allen. I'm pretty sure they have Andre Drummond and Kevin Love, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been able to keep up with the offseason. And then they got Taurean Prince, but they have 3 centers.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. Like, these like 4 teams in the trade. Obviously, I'm more of an NFL guy, so I don't know much about the NBA. But the fact that there's like 4 teams getting together for a trade, like
they do this all the time.
I wish the NFL will do this.
It's to spread out salary. So like they're like James Harden has a huge contract.
I figured he would.
So it's to spread out salary. A lot of teams will jump in and be like, "Hey, I want these people. I'll throw in this person. Whoever wants them can take him." And I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Victor Oladipo going to the Rockets. I'm pretty sure the Pacers were like, "Hey, we want this person. We don't want him anymore." And the Rockets were like, "We'll take him."
I feel like there's already rumors that he was going to leave at one point, and then he ended up staying. So
I think he's happy to get out of Indiana. I think he enjoyed his time here. Well, not here because we're not in Indiana, but
we're not in Indiana.
but I'm a Pacers fan at heart. But I just love the NBA storylines, so I'll talk about that. But Oladipo went to Indiana, IU, and then made his way back to Indiana for the Pacers. But I think it's time for him to spread his wings and fly away. LeBron last night, I don't remember who they were playing, but he was on the corner, shot a 3, turned around, looked at the bench. The bench told him that he made the shot, and then they all went crazy. They're just clowning around. Like, LeBron is going to win another championship this year.
It already seems pretty hopeless for the rest of the league.
If LeBron wins another championship, it'll actually be hard to put LeBron James behind Michael Jordan. I think at that point it's pretty close to even.
Yeah. This is a different, interesting topic always because they're just, they played in different NBAs.
Yeah. I mean, that's like saying, like, a lot of people forget about Oscar Robertson, but the Big O was the best player in basketball for a little bit. And then there was Wilt Chamberlain, and there was Michael Jordan, Magic.
Isn't Wilt Chamberlain like the guy who put up like 100-something points in the game?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Kobe got close. He got 80, but I don't think anyone's gotten anywhere near that since. I think Devin Booker got 70 last year.
Yeah, it wasn't in the bubble, I think.
Yeah. But going forward, we might do more NBA shows. If you would rather hear more NBA shows, please let us know. If you don't want to hear NBA at all, please let us know.
Actually, they probably won't because they don't want to hear NBA at all. They probably already stopped watching.
Yeah, most likely. I think there's like 2 people that watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But shout out to those 2 people.
I know. Look at that. I know there's a lot of other things you could be watching. So the fact that you choose to watch us, we definitely really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I don't know why you're watching us, but appreciate it. Got a green screen, but it didn't come with any polls, and I got to figure out all that. So,
well, that'll be coming up. So we'll do something back here instead of just making you look at the
sometime in 2021. I can't guarantee that's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, no,
I got to play with the software and everything, figure it out. But I think that's it.
Hockey's back.
Well, no one cares about hockey.
That's like sports that no one cares about.
Hockey's like 5th among like top sports, so no one cares about it.
Not only that, but the fact that they're like our season is opening games are like a set of 3 games on NBC Sports Network. I mean, I don't even know who even has that channel.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So yeah, that's where
I'm pretty sure there was a couple of NASCAR races on there one time
probably
when they got postponed due to rain. We have the Daytona 500 coming up in about a month.
Daytona 500 coming up February
we are
14th.
Big Daytona fans.
Let's go.
Well, Dale's not there, so it's like it's a little hard, but yeah, we're NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
We're rednecks.
Oh yeah, big time NASCAR fans.
Yeah, and that's about the extent of our sports that we watch. We watch soccer every now and then, but
No,
I watch soccer.
you watch soccer, I don't.
Football.
I'll tell you right now, I don't watch soccer.
Germany's good, right?
And probably, I don't know.
Yeah. If you want to talk about any sports, let us know and then give us about a year to prepare.
And I watched someone comment like, I want these two to talk soccer, just talk it now.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I'll
I'll take a shot at it and figure out. I don't even know who's
I'll
good.
watch like the first half of soccer and then I'll change it to something else and then I'll keep flipping back just to see if it's close. And if it's close and it's at the end of the game, I'll watch it and then it typically disappoints me.
I've liked going to FC Cincinnati games back when you could attend sporting events.
Yeah.
That's about
those
it.
are a lot
I
of
will
fun.
not watch on TV. I will go to FC Cincinnati.
I have
around
noticed
here.
I have noticed it is actually still a little bit enjoyable watching. It's a lot more fun with fans because the fans like really get you going.
right.
Without fans, it's just like you hear some dude on the bench going, "Get him! Get him!" And that's it. But in like with fans, you hear them like all of them will start cussing at the other team, or they have like the smoke blown out of the stands, big flags. It's like a
crazy.
sophisticated Southern like hillbilly
A little bit, yeah.
with the flag and everything.
This is probably a deeper dive for the soccer fans anyone cared to have.
Yeah.
All right, let's just end this damn
Yeah,
show.
that's the show for today. If you like this show, please like the show.
Yeah,
Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are normally a little bit better at this, but
How about judge the show based on the first 20 minutes? Once we got off of the NFL, that's where this thing went
we
off the
hate
rails.
goodbyes. So our goodbyes usually last.
Yeah.
I think we're on 3 minutes of trying to say goodbye now.
Hey, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. We drove some of the way with the NBA talk and now the NHL talk. That really... the hockey and soccer talk definitely...
If you are still watching us, we applaud you.
You are a trooper at this point. This is so awful.
Yeah, I know.
We're literally laughing at our own show right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, definitely. You made it through the hockey and soccer talk, then you really are a trooper.
Yeah. On that bombshell, I don't know if that's going to be copyrighted or not, but we're not getting paid for this. So on that
That is
bombshell, we are out of here. See you guys.
Have a good one, everybody.